Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my Monday morning video today. Just a couple of things before I start. My name's Laura Stranks and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. I've got a Facebook page called Cards by Laura. You can pop on there and have a look at the cards that I make at my workshops and classes, and also the ones that I do on my videos. There is no tutorials in that page. If you want to see all the tutorials for these cards, you'll need to join my Facebook group. It doesn't cost you anything to join. It's called Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials. All the PDFs will be in the Files tab in there. There's hundreds of them in there from the videos that I do on my YouTube channel, and also the ones that I do on my live. I do a live every Saturday morning in this group. So you're welcome to join that. Just be aware that there's 2 questions that you need to answer. One, why you wish to join the group, and also that you agree to the rules. If you don't see those 2 questions when you request to join, try going onto a different device. If you're on your phone, maybe try an iPad or a PC, because you'll need to answer the questions. You will get a little notification back to say that you haven't answered them if you don't. And today, welcome to anyone that hasn't watched my videos before. Love you to subscribe. If you do subscribe, there'll be a little bell that comes up. If you hit that, it will notify you each time my videos go up. My YouTube channel is called Creative Gems, and for those that have watched before, welcome back, and I hope you enjoy what I've got to show you today. We'll put that aside. This card is called a double gatefold card, and it's quite amazing actually. It's just the way you cut your paper, and I've done this sample one like that. Afterwards I thought I didn't leave much space for writing, but you could put another panel on the back, a writing panel on here if you wish, or these ones here are light enough to write your wording on there, your greeting and whatever. So there's lots of options. You could leave one of these blank, which is well, I've decorated it, but not as much as these, so there's a writing panel inside. But if you make these light enough, you could just use a lighter colour DSP on those. That's how it works, and they fold in and fold down like so. I'll get started. I've cut all my pieces and prepped a lot of my decorations as well, so it won't take too long to go through. The paper I'm using today is this one from the annual catalogue. It's called Florals in Bloom. Very pretty paper. I've used lots of it now. This is my 3rd pack that I've started on. Lots of pretty papers in there. It's in the annual catalogue, so not hard to find. Put that aside. Now all the pieces we've got here, I'll show you what I've cut. I haven't done any scoring yet. That's the little die that I've used for my greetings. My main base piece is Petunia Pop. That's 11.5 by 8.25, which is there. These measurements will be in the description box of today's video, but the full PDF will be in my Facebook group called Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials. So that's that piece in Petunia Pop. And then I've got 3 of these mats. Here's the other one here. It's going on the front. 3 of those, 5.5 by 3 7/8. That's in Bubble Bath. And then I've got 3 7/8 by 2 5/8, and there's 8 of those. I've already adhered the DSP to them, but they're in Bubble Bath as well. So there's 8 of those. They're on the 4 outer sections of the thing. And then the DSP for the front, you could, the first one I did, this card here, I used DSP in the background. I was going to use this on the front, this darker pattern, but it made it look too dark, so I embossed a piece of cardstock, and I've done this. I'll show you the stamp sets in a minute. So that's going on the front, and I've embossed with the layered florals die, not die, embossing folder. And then the DSP, that's where I've changed, oh no, the DSP, where am I? DSP for the front, that's fine. We've done the mats. The DSP for these ones here. I've got 4 of each of 2 designs. So I've done those 4 inside and those 4 inside, all out of that same DSP. There's my phone. It can just ring. Oh, it stopped already. They must have known I was busy. They're 3 5/8 by 2 3/8, and there's 8 of those. I've already adhered those together. It takes a long time to adhere all those bits. And then the basic white inside, there's 2 of those, which I've done this one for my writing panel. I'll have that as writing, and that one I've just decorated. They're 5 1/4 by 3 5/8, and there's 2 of those. And then your scrap cardstock for your decorations, and I've got some embellishments to put on as well. So that's that. That's all the pieces you'll need. My embellishments, I'm going to use these. Probably, I'm not sure whether I'll use those or some lighter ones. They're the 24-26 in colour flat pearls. Depends what I put them on. I might use the darker ones yet. I'm not putting them on the flowers. That was the embossing folder, layered florals. That's that one. The 2 stamp sets, these come, it's a double set in the annual catalogue, and you've got the wording on this one and a few other embellishment type ones. And then the pretty florals, I've used a lot of the dies on that and the stamps. So that's the 2 of those. And that's all you will need. We'll put all that aside and we'll get started. Now, your main piece first, we'll go with this, and with the long side at the top to start with. Oh, that's the little die I used on the front greeting here with the have a and day. It's a stylish shape little banner. That's the one I used there. I better put that away later to make sure I don't lose it. 2 and 7. Excuse me. I'm just getting over a cold, so excuse me for the cough. Nearly all gone. 2 7/8. We're going to score on the long side at the top. 2 7/8 and score. Make sure you take that cutting blade out of the road. Rotate 180 degrees and score at 2 7/8. Now this bit's a little bit tricky, but I've worked out the video I did watch. I'm not sure whose it was from years ago. She made it a little bit difficult, so I've done it a bit different where you can do it all in one go. You want the short side at the top and the left edge on 4 1/8, which is half of your cardstock. So you're going to do some cutting and scoring. So from there down to the first score line, you need to cut. We'll put that one up there. And I'm going to start on the score line. I'll stand up. It's easier to start on a score line than go down to it and stop. So we'll cut that, lift this up, and then we're going to score from that cut line down to the next score line, or from that score line to that score line. You're going to score, put that one back out of the road, and we'll cut from there down. So you've got a cut, a score, and a cut. 4 1/8 from this side, and using the score lines that you originally did. So that's all there is to do. Now we shall fold this, and you'll need to trim a tiny bit off this. I'll just get my bone folder over here. Fold those. And those. Now if you put it this way, and we're just going to cut a really fine smidge off that where you've cut those 2 lines, because it will not fold. Once you put your layers on, it's not going to fold shut very well. So you only want the slightest of, doesn't matter if it's not in one go, we'll just take a really fine slither off that. You can see it there where I've cut it, and the same on this end. Oops. You can trim it up later when you've put it all together. You'll see how tidy it is. This one's going to be a pain cutting it. So just slither off that and try and make it tidy. We can trim more later as we put it together. Get rid of all that. And it just helps these close up a bit better too. You've got a little bit of gap there. So assembly is really, really easy, as you can tell. These go on here. So I'm going to put alternate, the same as I did this one here. I'll put that and that. Those will be for the other side. Make sure I've got my flowers up the right way. So those 4 can go in there, and then the other 4 go on the back. I'll stick those in quickly. Whoops, don't get glue everywhere. I thought this DSP pattern on the other side was a little bit dark for the front. I wanted something a bit brighter. I'll do this one. Make sure you cut your DSP the correct way if you're using directional paper. It's not easy to, your short side will go at the top. I'll put that one in there. I love this paper. There's one pattern in this. I think I've used it all. I think it was the back of the dark piece, actually. Oh no, it was the back of another grey. There's a new colour, cloud cover. It was the back of that, and I've used most of it. That's what I was going to put in here, the cloud cover, but there wasn't quite enough to do it. Excuse me. Beautiful weather today outside. It's almost to spring, or by the time you see this video it will be spring. 1st of September is our spring. If you're in Australia or the Southern Hemisphere somewhere, we have spring on the 1st of September. Can't wait. I'm not a winter person. Now we'll do the rest of the inside first. So I've got this one here. I'm going to put it at the bottom. That's my writing, my grid. It's got to have a mat on it too, and so is that one. So we'll get these here and adhere them to the mat. My favourite colour is pink. Pink and dark blue, or any sort of blue really, but I do like Night of Navy, Misty Moonlight, those sorts of colours. And I love flowers. Most of my classes and stuff and workshops include flowers, so I try and mix it up a bit for the ladies. They don't always want flowers. It's a bit hard sometimes when it's out of your comfort zone. Should have my silicone mat down. So that one's on there. And then this one will go on the other mat, and then there's a mat for the front as well. The little spotty image around the ends on the sides, that's one of the stamps out of the set as well. It's nice for a little bit of detail. It looked a bit plain without it, so I decorated some of those. And that one up the top. I'm not putting any embellishments inside. I think it might make, even though they're flat pearls, might make it a bit bulky. But this is, you don't end up with any scraps with your cardstock. Oh, I think I took a slither off one side of my cardstock, original cardstock. So that folds in, and and then we shall put these opposite from the inside. So that one's there, that one's there, that one and that one. Put all those in. Actually, we'll flip that over. Just make sure I get them back in the right place. I think that's right, yes. I thought if I glue all the mats down first, or the DSP onto the mats, it saves an awful lot of time. I don't fast forward my videos or anything, it's just what you see is what you get. If you are watching, let me know where you're watching from. I know I can't comment back because I'm recording. I do record my videos for convenience, so that I can put them up. And I record sometimes a couple of weeks ahead. But any questions or any comments you'd like to put in, I will answer them or I'll get back to you. I 99.9% of the time work in inches. It's just what I'm used to. I know a lot of people are in centimetres now, but a lot of the videos are in inches, and sometimes it's a little difficult to swap them, to convert them to inches from centimetres. It takes a lot of time, especially my PDFs. By the time I type all my instructions, I spend a lot of time, more time doing all my PDFs and notes and stuff than what I do actually recording. So it takes a long time to do all of this, and I don't get any money out of it. I do this for the love of it. So that's that and that, and then this one will fold over, and it is a bit bulky. I'm going to trim this little bit here as well, because as you can see it's hanging out, and it's only a smidge on this one here. It's a little bit hard to, which way will we go? Just a smidge off that, just to tidy it up a little bit. You hardly notice it when you trim it. That's better. That's better. It's not hanging out the bottom. Now, make sure this is all up the right way, and this will be my front. When you have a bulky card, if you put your large block or even a heavy book on overnight, it will flatten down quite a bit. There is a fair bit of bulk in there. You could, I wouldn't say magnets would work. They're a little bit thick. I don't think they'd hold the bulk. It'd still pop open. But if it's going in an envelope, I don't think it matters if there's a little bit of bulk there. You will pay extra postage for the bulk. But if you're handing it to someone, it's the open effect that is the nicest bit when you open it up. I'm sure they're not going to worry about a little bit of bulk. Feeling much better today. I was really sick last week and heaps better now. I went to the doctor and got some medication, antibiotics. So I'm just about better. So that's that. Just get this dry cough. And now my embellishments are over here. I'm just going to put a couple on the front here. In the petunia pop. I'll put one on the flower, maybe a couple on the greeting. I've got lots of these. I love these flat pearls, they're so pretty. We'll do the medium one in there, and then we'll do some little ones on the greetings. should just fit in there. I always try and put my embellishments where they're going to show. If you put, like in here, if you put that petunia pop one in there, you're not going to see it. So I would probably go with a lighter pink, or even the, a different colour altogether. This Secret Sea is in this paper here. You could do Secret Sea embellishments on them. They would stand out a little bit better. Just my little hints. And that is it. All done. Once you've cut all your pieces, it's really easy to assemble. Nothing difficult at all. And that's the two. I'll just open those up for you. Totally different to the first one. I had fun colouring these. These I coloured with, I put ink on a block of my stamp pad, and then I used my Wink of Stella as a paintbrush and just pick up the ink off the block and do some shading on those. Works out really well. But this one here, I could, if I maybe just put one leaf on one side and some of these around that, and then you could leave the rest as blank for your writing. So that's just another suggestion. And you don't need DSP on the front. You can put an embossed piece. That's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I shall catch you all next Monday at 9 AM. Have a lovely week. Bye for now.